Hi friends, it's Jeanette with Prairie Dreams Decor. Welcome to another little project that I have going here I wanted to share with you. Tonight we're going to make a pumpkin project. And to do that, we're going to use 3 of these wooden medallions. Now you can get these, I think just about anywhere. I've actually seen people get them from Dollar Tree, but the Dollar Tree that I can go to doesn't have anything like this. I got mine from Amazon. They're also available at Hobby Lobby. Okay, I'm going to decoupage. So here's my decoupage, just matte finished Mod Podge. You don't need a bottle near this big. And I picked up this scrapbook paper at Hobby Lobby. I thought it was so pretty fall colors. And have a paper plate and a brush that I'll use for the Mod Podge and the paint. And then everything else I need, I think, is going to be in here. Here's the paint I'm going to use. This is Folk Art Terracotta Clay Pot color. The number is 7019, Clay Pot. And I'm going to use this cream wax. It's deep brown cream wax. I believe you can get that at Hobby Lobby. I've got a couple pairs of scissors here. I've got my finger sander. And I've got an ink pad of Distress Oxide. We'll use that to kind of distress everything a little bit. And I have a little knob that I had from a previous project that I didn't need, and I imagine I probably did get it from Hobby Lobby, but I can't swear to it. So you just need a little knob of something to use for the stem. And you know, you can actually buy plastic pumpkin stems on Amazon, I know, but I didn't really want to do that. You can get little finials that would be real cute, but this is what I have, so this is what I'm going to use. And then we're going to put it all on this plaque right here. I ordered this from Hobby Lobby. I ordered it online. And I was real pleased with it until I got to looking it over a little bit. And it's got a kind of a little chunk taken out right down here. I don't know if you can see it or not. But that's when I decided that I would just distress it, and then it would just look like it's supposed to be there, I guess. I thought about distressing it even more, you know, taking other chunks out, but that's a little too risky for me. I just got done with the project using glitter, so I've got glitter everywhere. It's kind of a seasonal hazard around here. Anyway, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is paint. I had to think about that for a minute. First thing we're going to do is paint these medallions. I'm going to lay out some paper towel for them to dry on. Since my space is kind of small here, I don't want to get the paint on anything else. You can open up the big lid, but you can't open the pop top because it's sealed. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, I'm not a good judge of how much of this I'm going to use, so I just put some out there. Probably have to get some more. And I'm just going to paint these. I may have to give them 2 coats since I'm not using a primer, but we'll see. Sometimes if you have a dark enough color, it doesn't bleed through, but we'll see. And this is very creamy paint, so get that paper towel over here. Now I've got those all painted, and they're mostly dry, but I'm going to set them aside for just a minute or two while I cut out the shapes for the decoupage. I'm such a messy painter. I got it all over me, and I don't want to get it all over the paper. Although I do think it's going to be a good match. I think the paper and the paint go together really well. Don't use a brush like I had. Get a better quality brush. That was part of a set that I had bought at Hobby Lobby, and it was cheap and it shed everywhere. You don't need that no matter what your project is. Well, that's some good paint. And I think I'm only going to need the one coat. I am going to distress the edges, so that will take some of the, that will cover some of the edges that I missed. Okay. So now, all I'm going to do is trace out and cut out my shapes here. Okay, so we have our shapes cut out, ready to decoupage. I should have mentioned before that I chose this pattern partially because I can turn it any which way I want to, and it's the same pattern. So it's non-directional, in other words. So that's what's going to make it nice to use. It's also kind of got, it's kind of weird, but it's kind of got gray streaks through it, but I don't mind it. I thought it was going to bother me, but I don't mind it so much now. So anyway, we can get on with applying decoupage. And I'm just gonna go on the top here. Don't want it to drip over the edge, but I do want to get it clear to the edge. And as you can see, since I painted it, I wouldn't have had to paint it. But since I did paint it, it seems like the decoupage medium goes on smoother. I don't know if it's just my imagination or what, but I've just always painted underneath the decoupage. This scrapbook paper is a little bit heavier than like a napkin or something, so it's a little bit more forgiving. I'm checking around the edges just to make sure I've got it out to the edge. Yeah, since I'm not going to use a napkin or a tissue paper or anything like that, it's not going to show my brush strokes. So I think this is probably my best method to get it out to the edges, is just to sweep over the edges like this. Okay. Now I'm going to dry it. I'm going to use a little bit different method than what I have sometimes in the past. The next step is to apply the scrapbook paper to the decoupage medium, which is on top of the little wood medallion. And for that, all I had to do was I put my paper down on top of my medallion, piece of parchment paper on top. The Mod Podge is dry underneath, remember. And all we're going to do is take our little iron. You can use a big iron if that's all you have. it will certainly work. And just apply the heat. Get it as even as you can. And it doesn't take long. This little iron gets pretty hot. If you use your big iron, just make sure that you don't have any water in it. Like if you steam iron something, make sure the water has evaporated out of there. So just iron that on like that. And that's it. All I have to do now is trim these up and sand them a little bit. There we go. Now, I'll clean up my mess a little bit and we'll start distressing and gluing the project together. Okay, now let's use some of our Distress Oxide ink and go around the edges of our pumpkin and distress it a little bit. You just have to do this. And I kind of go around and make sure that the white is being covered up from the edge of the paper. Can you see that? And then just take it over the sides a little bit. This is the easiest way to distress something, I think. It's not hard with paint, but this is very fast and no fuss, no muss. You can put as much on or as little as you want. And I wasn't going to do the outside of the shape, but I think I will, just for grins and giggles. It's subtle, but I think it looks really nice. Kind of defines it a little bit more. Okay, there's our first one. Can you see what that's done? Let's compare. Like I said, it's subtle, but I like it. So let Let me add just a little bit more around the edges here. And I think you can get this ink just about anywhere that you can find supplies. I got mine from Amazon. Okay. I like that. Now I'm going to do the other two. I used to use this all the time, and then I kind of got out of the habit of it, but I haven't really done a whole lot of work with wood. I couldn't even find my old stamp. I think it was the same color as this, though. This color is walnut. There we are. All done with that. So now let's work on the plaque itself a little bit. I told you about the little boo-boo that it came with. Well, since this is all a pretty smooth surface, I'm going to use this cream wax. I think I just have to resign myself to the fact that this little project's going to have just a little bit of glitter on it too, because I can't seem to get rid of it from my last project. But anyway, since this is kind of a smooth finish on here already, I'm going to use the wax, the brown wax. And I'm just going to use a wipe to apply it. And I'm just going to use it out of the lid. Once again, it's kind of subtle. But it does add some, it adds something to the project. I think it adds some dimension, so everything doesn't look just flat and plain. So I'm not real sure if I would have thought of using it if it didn't have that little hunk taken out of there. Now, I don't know if the camera will pick this up or not. It's not a big difference, but there is some slight shading there that I think you'll enjoy. Oops, I need to turn this. And so I think I'll add it to the other edge as well. Oh yeah, I think that's going to look nice. I'm just adding just a little touch more here and there. Add it to the corners more. And maybe to the inside. Of that piece there. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, keep going. Now, if you didn't want to invest in wax, you could certainly use the ink pad, just like we did on the pumpkins. Like I said, I kind of wanted to keep the smoother surface. And, you know, if you paint over it or something, it might kind of take that smoothness away. But I don't think it would be drastic. And I think I'm going to put some on the backdrop here too. Most of this backdrop is going to be covered anyway with the pumpkins, but let's see what we can do to kind of, you know, white can be pretty sharp to look at. So by dulling it up a little bit, I think it makes it a little bit more friendly, a little bit more interesting. I might put just a little bit darker spots here in the corners. There we go. That's all done. You can see why a jar of this would last a very long time. If I use it for this kind of purpose. Okay, so, oh wait, I need to still do our little topper, our little, what do you call it? The vine, whatever, that comes out of the pumpkin, the stem. I must be tired. I can't find my words tonight. We'll just use the same wax and not a big difference in color, but a little bit. Okay. Just a quick touch there. Now I can put it away. Yeah, make sure the lids are on these good so that they don't dry out and so that they don't stick to the jar itself. Okay. So let's arrange these. I'm going to stand up so I can get a good placement on there. Smooth out the wax in this corner. Not too much in there. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I think I don't trust my eyes tonight, so I'm going to actually measure. And it still probably won't be exact. It doesn't have to be exact. That's about right. Okay, I want to use my E6000 glue and hot glue. The E6000 will make it permanent. The hot glue will tack it down immediately. Try not to mix the two in the same spot. It seems like they kind of cancel each other out if you do that. There we go. And I'm being pretty generous with it, as you can see. I love E6000 glue. I probably should put a disclaimer on here that you should be in a well-ventilated area to use it, because it does have a strong odor. I always have a fan running in the corner over there, so that helps. Now this E6000 takes 24 hours to set up. And I kind of leave it a second or two or three just to, I don't know, just to kind of get seated on that piece of wood there. And then I'm going to use hot glue in the middle here. And this will hold it on long enough so that the E6000 will take hold. Let me check my measurements. There we go. Just about right. Let me keep this out. Let's do the same thing over here. I still don't have a lot of strength in my hand. Okay. What did I say that was? Right at a half, 1.5, okay. Oops, it needs to go over a little bit. If I can get it over there. Just a little. There. Okay. I think it's going to be stunning. I think it's going, the colors are just amazing. Now, You know what? I don't like that turned up like that. Let's see if I can get that off. Might not be able to. Yeah. I'll show you why. See how that side kind of got, when they cut it, it kind of got straight instead of oval. That's not good. So I'll put it to the inside. And it'll be covered up. I was going to pay attention to that and I forgot all about it. Okay, now we're going to put this piece on top to make our little pumpkin. So, you know, I wasn't going to use the E6000, but I think I better. I just feel better using it. So I'm going to put it on the very edge. And for those of you that think that might not be enough, trust me, it is. I used to make those plate flowers out of china plates and used them out in my garden. And you know, they were out there for probably 5 years before finally the hail took most of them. I think I still have 2 out there. But all I used on those was E6000 and on copper pipe, and left them out. I think I took them in for the winter. I didn't this last year though. I know I didn't. But anyway, yeah, it's an amazing glue. It says that it's 100% waterproof, permanent bond. It also says it holds in seconds, and I suppose it kind of depends on what material you're using. When I was putting those plate flowers together, it took at least 24 hours before it was set up good. This isn't going outside though, so we probably don't have to worry about any of that. Now, I'm going to put this little stem on here. And this part is actually wider than the wood here, but I'm going to slide it to the back, and I don't think it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. And I do think I'm just going to use hot glue for this. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to cut some lengths of raffia, and we can make a bow to go up on the stem. It doesn't have to be perfect. Let's use this big piece here, this wide piece, to tie around. might try to see if I can find a button or something to put in the middle of this bow. I didn't think of making a bow until halfway through the project, so oh gosh, Raffia's a mess. I love it, and I use it a lot, but it's a mess. Let's kind of clear some of this off here so I can see what I'm doing. We're almost done. Now, obviously, you can use a nice ribbon and put that on here, but I think I just want to use raffia. And I think I don't want it near that long. So I'm just gonna trim it off. Kind of like so. Got two runaways here. I'll hold it up and look at it. Yeah, I think I like that. So let's glue that down. Like I said, you could use nice ribbon if you have some nice ribbon that will match your paper. But I was going, I guess, more for a little rustic look. A little more countrified. There's our pumpkin. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you make one. And if you make one, post a picture on my Facebook page. I'd love to see it. By the way, Facebook page is the same as YouTube and Instagram and everything, just Prairie Dreams Decor, all one word. And I'd love for you to follow me on YouTube and on Facebook and Instagram. Always have lots going on. So give me a follow. But until next time, remember, always be a dreamer like me.